Good morning. Sorry, good afternoon already. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Okay, one person is around, so you can actually make use of the chat, so I can know that you are here. So let's wait for like 30 seconds more, then we start with the class. Good afternoon, Ayomide. How are you? I was guessing it was going to be either you or Deb X or Eva. So wait for them because it seems like the three of you are usually in class. All right. So sorry about last week's class. So don't worry. This is supposed to be the third week, but I think I'm going to be because we've not even gotten to like welcome. We've not even gotten to like half of what I want us to do. So I think we are going to be having like 2 weeks more. Yeah. So because I want us to get hold of things, then if there is now need for maybe brushing up later up, then we'll know that we are going to the advanced one. Not okay. So I think we can just start now. So I drew a chart here on my phone trying to describe like a woman's body, but this is it. Eva, can you imagine? The three of you are here now. The three of you I mentioned earlier on. Okay, so I drew this um to actually show us like how a woman's body is. Sorry, don't mind my drawing actually. Yeah. So to actually show us how a woman body is, we know like the biggest part of a woman's body, we are trying to make a dress, okay? So now the biggest part of a woman's body is the hips mostly. And for some, it's usually, sorry, let me change the color. It's usually the hips, and for some it's usually the bust area. So that's why you find out that some people have like big breasts, yes, and have like smaller hips. So for such people, you cannot make the same, you cannot use like standard measurements. We actually have some standard measurement that they make use of, that they make um clothes from, like all these brand that make clothes. You usually find out that they have size 8, size 12, size, that's that like standard measurement. Not everybody can wear that standard, the standardized charts measurements. Not everybody can wear it. Okay, now to make crochet wear into like your customers fitting, so how do we go about this? So we are going to be starting this together. Okay, it won't be like a big project. I want us to do it like a small one, like, okay, if you read the description of this YouTube live, you see that we'll be making use of measurements, right? Like normal measurements in inches, but then we'll not convert it to centimeter, so that will be done on time. And then you will see how you can increase, just to understand what we are going to do. It doesn't, we really do not have to like make a complete dress before you see what I'm trying to make you see. Okay, so I'm making use of 2 strands of regular yeye. Okay, and I'm going to be making use of 3.5 mm. You can go ahead and make use of 4 mm or 4 mm, depending on how loose you want the dress to be. Okay, so okay, let me try and bring out a dress that I have. Let's leave that for now. Okay, so what we are going to be doing is, let me show you, there is something I want to show us. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, but as you can see, we have the eye bust. If you notice where the eye bust is, you will see that it's usually 2 inches 2 inches before your it's usually some inches before your bust area. Your bust area is the biggest part of your breast area. That's where your tailor actually measures. Okay, so now this is the chest area, and this is usually where the armhole stops. This is usually where the armhole stops. Yes, this place under the armpit is usually where the armhole stops. And now the bust area is like the biggest part, mostly around your nipple side. Okay, now we have the waist. There are two type of they call this, for when I learned tailoring, this is what they called. My boss told me we have two type of waist. This is waist one and this is waist two. Okay, so she will usually tell me that, okay, this is basically, they call this half length. This type of waist, most tailor will tell you that this is half length, and this high hip is now what they call waist. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to explain to us so that when I start using this term, then it won't be foreign to you when I'm using it. Okay, so now the full hip is like the biggest part of the, that part that is usually protruding. How do they know? Once they are trying to measure you, they'll watch out for like the edge. Your tailor will watch out for the edge that comes out the most out of in this part of the body. Okay, and that's how they'll be able to measure from your shoulder to your hips to get the circumference, but they have to get the length first. Okay, now we have the thigh, we have the knee. When they say, okay, I want a skirt that is knee length, okay, so it comes from like maybe high waist. If it's high waist, now you see that they call the skirt high waist, so that means there is definitely a low waist. Okay, but according to this chart, they call this high hip. Yeah, there's something they call high waist. So if they say, yeah, I want to buy high waist skirts, you usually notice that it usually starts from your half length, and normal skirts usually start from this. So that's why they call this one the waist, and they call this one the high waist or half length. Yeah, so once we have, yeah, you have your calf, whereby if you want to make a midi gown, yeah, this is usually where they will measure it up to. Then if you have like a long gown, then they will measure it up to this length. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now, all this one, if you want to measure a customer and you are taking the measurement, you have to take the measurement from the shoulder. You have to take the measurement from the shoulder. So from this shoulder to anywhere that you are trying to measure is called length. Is the length of the dress or of whatever you are trying to make. But if it is from year to year, like round, it's called circumference. They call it circumference. Your tailor cannot measure you and just measure you. How will I say it? Cannot just measure you halfway like this. They have to go all round. So all this place, if you're trying to go all around your waist, trying to get the measurement, it's called the circumference. If you're trying to go around to get any type of length, it's called the circumference. But from here to anywhere in the body is called the length. Okay, so now if you want to measure your customer, let's say your customer is around and then you want to measure him or her, you just write down, sorry, let me use this, I was writing a pattern. Okay, so you just have to write down the basic measurement. First, you write your shoulder to shoulder. You can write this if you want to write it. You have your shoulder to shoulder. Now I'm giving you free tailor tip. If you don't understand, you have your shoulder to shoulder measurement, and your shoulder to shoulder, they'll write it as SH. That is from one shoulder to another shoulder measurement, usually from year to year. There is always a bone around this area. So from here to here, that's where they'll measure your shoulder to shoulder from. Okay, now then the next one will be your upper chest, but mostly what they need the upper chest for, that is the eye bust, or what they call eye bust here, what you need the upper chest for is just mostly for the length, so that you can get the armhole that you're supposed to make for it. Okay, so now let's say our shoulder to shoulder measurement is my own measurement. Now my own measurement, my shoulder to shoulder is 16 inches. Okay, 16 inches. My upper chest, the length is 8. Now for the shoulder to shoulder measurement, you don't have length, because that is where it starts from. Okay, so now for my upper chest is 8 inches. Then what's the circumference again? I think 38 or so. So you usually find them write it like this. They write 8, then 38, with this or in between. So this is the length, this is the breadth. Okay, if you find a tailor's measurement book, that's how they write it. Okay, now we proceed to the bust area. So for the bust area, my bust area is the nipple point, which is the length from here to here. The nipple point is 12 inches. So they write 12. Then my circumference is 40. Okay, so they write it like this: 12 over 40, yeah, or 40. So this is the length, this is the circumference. So anytime you see, the first one will be the length, the other one will be the circumference. Now to the waist, we also have under bust, but under bust is not stated here. Under bust is like usually under your this thing, but mostly people don't use it, the under bust area. So let's just go to the waist. Let's keep the under bust, then we go to the waist, but I write it as half length, because mostly is usually around maybe 2 inches above your belly button. So it's usually, they usually say it is the half length. All right, okay, so half length, my half length is 15, then 32. Okay, now my normal waist is 1932 too. Okay, it's the same thing. For some, their half length is usually thinner than their this thing, but I don't have like a very perfect shape, so you can always have this. So this is the waist, that is the high hip here. Then my hip measurement is 25. The length is 25 by 44. Okay, so you have from here to here, you measure it. So mine is 25, then the circumference is 44. Okay, now my knee length, the other thing we need is knee length. Normally, you know that once you are coming down from your hips, you can see that your thighs will start to be it will start how will I say it, getting narrower. It won't be as wide as the hip area. Okay, so there is need for you, when you're trying to make like a bodycon dress, there is need for you to always reduce your length here up to like 2 inches or more safe. Okay, so and my knee length is just the length that we need, is just 40. Okay, so now these are all in inches, but for the sake of this tutorial, we are going to be making it in centimeters. Okay, so that way we'll be able to finish it on time. Even in centimeters sef, you see how long it's going to take us. So we're going to be doing all of them in centimeters using this one. So I'm going to rewrite it here so we can see properly. So 16, then under bust, the upper chest area, we have 8 by 38 centimeter. The bust 12 by 40 centimeter. Half length, we have 15 by 32 centimeter. waist 19 by 32 centimeter, hips 25 by 44 centimeter, then knee length, then 40 centimeters. Okay, so if you want to start, you can start your project either by, you can either start from the knee area. Let me put, you can either start from the knee or from the shoulder area. So I don't know which one, where do you want us to start from? I want someone to just, anywhere, we can start from anywhere. So now where do you want us to start from? Where should we start from? Please just type it in and let's start our project. I'm waiting. Where should we start from? Should we start from the shoulder area or from the, okay, shoulder? All right. Okay, so for our shoulder, we have our shoulder to shoulder measurement, which is 16. So we are going to be making use of our tape rule as well. It is very, very important. So we are going to be making chains up to 16. Now let me bust our brain. This measurement is actually for, the measurement we wrote is actually for like normal dress. Okay, this is what you have for your normal measurements, but as we know, crochets are usually very, very stretchy. Sure, you understand, they are usually very, very stretchy. So we tend to, if you want it to fit very well, okay, you reduce your measurement either by one, between 1 to 2 inches. If you have your measurement in inches, okay, you have to reduce it like maybe between 1 to 2 inches, so you can have maybe 1.5 reduction, or, you understand what I'm trying to say, because it is crochet, it is stretchy. Because if you do it to be the exact length of the person's this thing, at the end of the day, when the person wear it, it won't be fitted. You understand what I'm trying to say? It won't look like, okay, they are wearing a bodycon. Yeah. So we are starting now. For our shoulder to shoulder measurement, I'm not going to be making it up to 16 inches. I'm going to be making it up to 14 centimeters. Sorry, I've changed it to centimeter now. So we're going to chain, start with our slip knots, right? Then we are going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So let's check 20 and see if it is enough. Sorry. So I said 14. Okay, so it's not enough. We still need like maybe 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 24. Okay, these things that you are doing, you need to write them down so you don't forget, because we are going to be making this in half panels, in 2 panels, sorry. Okay, so we have 14. Can you see? We have 14 centimeters. So now we are going to be making this in 2 panels. Okay, the circumference, then you will have to divide our circumference into 2. For the shoulder to shoulder measurement, you discover that it wasn't the circumference that we'll try to measure. Okay, we didn't go all round. They just place it from one of your collarbone to the other of your collarbone, and that's how you have your 16 inches for the body size and 16 centimeter as this case is now. You understand? So now that means it's supposed to, if we go to the circumference, it's supposed to be 32. But because we are going to be making this in 2 panels, the front panel, which is for the front body, and the back panel, which is for the back body. Okay, so now we are trying to make the front body, so you still retain that. And don't forget, we made it 14 centimeter. We reduced 2 centimeters. Okay, so we have 14 centimeter here. Now we are using double crochet regular stitch, so we want to use our turning chain. So now this last one, I'm going to add it to my turning chain. Why? Because for our double crochet, once we do 3, it serves as 1 stitch. Okay, it serves as our 1 stitch. So I'm going to go into the next one and start making double crochet till the end of the row. And don't forget, you can see I'm picking the back, the loop at the back, not the 2 front loops that we have. That's what I'm picking. Okay, so if you need to take your yarn and just do along with me, please do. At least you save yourself time too. Don't just keep looking at me. You'll get bored unless you are not at home and then you just want to watch so you can do it later. Then there is no problem, just find something to watch. All right, so the first row is usually very slow, yeah, because we have to pick the back of this, which is not easy, and I'm doing it on camera, so that's not even helping the matter. Please, I hope we understand the measurements up to this point though. Please, I want to know if you understand up to this point. Yes, you can use your own measurements. If you don't have your own measurements now, please just make use of the measurements we are using here. You are still going to, you might still have to frog it, and that's why I said we are not making like a full, we're not making for like a how will I say it, we're not making it in inches, we are making it in centimeter. Centimeter is very, very small compared to inches. Sure, you understand? So it's not as if you are making for like a human being. At the end of the day, it's going to look like a doll size, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Not the small doll size anyways, but at least a doll size. So that will not, it will save your yarn. At the same time, it will save time as well. Okay, so you can go ahead and use these measurements. It's just for practice. Nobody is going to wear it unless you have the measurement of your doll you want to wear it for now. Okay, so let me just keep doing this. But if you are making an actual dress, then you have to use your own measurements. If you are making an actual dress, then you have to use your own measurements. But that might take you a lot of time to do. I'm not discouraging you. If you want to use your body measurement, please go ahead and use it. But because there is time frame to this thing, and then you're just starting, this is not something you can just finish. I'm not saying other crocheters that are already good in it though. Another person might find this and sit down with it and be able to finish it in 3 days. Okay, you might not be able to do that. You might have to spend like 2 weeks on it before you get done with it. You understand what I'm trying to say? So all right, so we already have I'm going into the last stitch here. Okay, then we have our last stitch here. Okay, so this is what we have for our first row. So the length, so we know that before we can say we want to maybe increase, or now our upper chest area, you have to divide it by 2. So we have 38 divided by 2. So what would that give us? Okay, because we want to remove 2 centimeters, minus 2, because we are making a crochet dress. Okay, minus 2, so we have 36. Okay, so 36 divided by 2 will be what? It will give us what? It will give us 18 centimeter. All right, so the length from your shoulder measurement to the circumference of your upper chest is 18 centimeter. Okay, and the length from your shoulder measurement to your upper chest is 8 centimeters. You understand what I'm trying to say? Now if you notice, this is 14, this is 18, so that means there is some kind of increase that will happen between the 4 centimeter, which is your shoulder measurement, and your upper chest. Okay, so you have 2 centimeters extras here, 2 centimeters extras here. If you join it, you have something like this. Okay, and that is how you form your shoulder measurement, your armhole. This is your armhole. Okay, and that's how you form your armhole. So let's just continue. So we know that we are going to be increasing at this point. Okay, so there's something I want us to do before we go on. Now, I was talking about swatch the first class, I think during the first week. So now this is one of the reasons why we need swatch now. So I'm trying to measure the stitches that I have here. I want to see how many, because the difference between this and this is how many. It's 4 centimeters. So I'm going to measure out 4 centimeters. So I want to see how many we have there, how many stitches. Just place it on your stitch. Just place your measurement. Okay, I should explain the measure. Okay, now the armhole is this. Is it? Let me make use of this. This is your armhole. This is your shoulder to shoulder measurement. Okay, now we have our eyeballs, which is the upper chest area. Can you see? It is usually around the armpit area. Do you understand? So now from your collarbone, if you touch your shoulder, you find a collarbone. There's something they call collarbone there. From your collarbone to this place, okay, the measurement that you have here is usually what you have for your perfect armhole. Okay, now for easiness, for people to be able to move their hands inside and all that, you find out that most of if you check the sleeve of your dress, of any dress or you can check anybody's own, you find out that it's somewhat, it looks like this. Okay, this is the point of the shoulder to shoulder measurement. This is the point of the upper chest. Okay, but instead of them to come straight like this, they'll rather go in a little bit. Okay, instead of them to come straight like this, you find that they come in into bit like this. And that's because we use our hands we raise our hands up, move it anyhow and everything. So there is need for easiness around this area, and that's why you have something like this. Okay, so usually this is it. I hope you understand what I mean by the armhole now. So usually from your shoulder to shoulder measurement to your upper chest area, that's your armhole. Do you get what I'm saying now, Eva? Please let me know if you get it. All right, so I'm trying to measure the difference, which is the 4 centimeter. So now I'm going to try and count the number of stitches I have there. Okay, so can you see I didn't start from the beginning? I picked it from the middle, so I'll be able to get it accurately. All right, so I have 1 2 3 4 5 then 6 7 8. So I have 8 stitches. I have 8 stitches to make up my I have 8 stitches. 8 stitches to make up my 4 centimeter. So that means between this one that we did, okay, this one that we did, and the upper chest area, there is supposed to be an increase of 4 centimeter to make up 18 centimeter. So we have to add like 8 stitches to the stitches that we have here to make up for our upper chest area. Please, if there is anybody that does not understand what I'm trying to explain, please do well to ask questions so that I can either go back and explain better. Okay, so now I don't want to increase in my first this one. See, now the rules to increasing your work you don't have to follow a particular pattern. All right, so far it is whatever you want to achieve that will make you know when to increase and when not to increase. Okay, so let me just do one more row. So we have our turning chain. All right, then I go into the next one. I'm picking the 2 loops. We are doing regular rows of double crochet. So let's just finish this second row together. Okay. Sorry. What's wrong with this thing? Stop it. All right. Okay, so for our next row, I think I want to increase. But before I increase, we're going to measure how many centimeters we have for these 2 rows. Okay, so in your case, if you are doing like inches, if you are doing your work in inches, you have to measure out. Just do like maybe 1 inch or maybe 1.5 inch before you even increase at all. Okay, so now I tried measuring, and 2 rows of double crochet will give me 3 centimeters. Can you see? Will give me 3 centimeters. So that means if I'm going to achieve this one, 3 centimeters, I have to do about that'll be about how many stitches, sorry, rows like that. We have, okay, 3 centimeters, and that's 2 rows. Okay, so that we'll have like 4 to 5 rows before we'll be able to achieve this 8 cm. So now 4 to 5 rows, and I've done this one. Okay, so the next I want to do is I want to do an increase row. Okay, so now 1 2 3. Now this is my first stitch. This is serving as my first double crochet. Okay, for the second one, I'm going to be inserting it into the first stitch as well. I'm going to be inserting it into the first stitch as well, and doing another stitch inside the first stitch. That's 2. Okay, that's my increase on the first side. So that means I already added 1 stitch to this row on the first side. So I'm going to do that for this side too. Okay, so let's finish up to that side, then we'll do increase again. So that will make up our increase row. Okay, so we're already at the last stitch. I've done one inside, so I'm going to go ahead and do another one. Okay, so that will make up our increase row. So you see that whatever stitches I have here before, let's count the ones that we have here before. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24. So we have 24 here before. You will notice that once we count this one now, it will be 26. This is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26. Can you see what I'm saying? So we are going to have 26. So we're going to have 26 stitches here on this third row. Now for your own, the next row I want to do now, I'm going to increase. Remember, we only have like 5 rows to get to our upper chest area, which is 8 centimeter, and here we've done 3 already. Okay, so we have like maybe like 2 more. Okay, so now I want to increase again. I'm going to increase. For your own, if you're making a normal dress, you might have like longer number of rows. So in that case, you will increase at every row. You have to put like space in between. You do an increased row, a regular row, an increased row, a regular row, or you do an increased row, 2 regular rows, or 3 regular rows safe. You know, just with your calculation, just make sure that you're calculating it very well and making sure that your measurement is accurate. Okay, so now for our next one, we want to increase again. All right, we have our first stitch already. Then the second one, which is here, we'll put another one there. Okay, so we have another increase that we've done. Then we go ahead to the end of the row and do another increase row. All right, so please, I want you to ask questions. All right, so as you can see, I'm not going to be, you're going to be having something straight here. Why? Because you've mastered your art of doing your stitch without skipping it or without increasing in the middle. Do you understand? Where it is not necessary. So that is why you have to perfect. That is why if you see any crocheter teaching, okay, where are you not getting? Please, can you let me know where you're not getting? Is it the increase or what? No, this one that I'm doing very fast. You already know what I'm doing here. You already know what I'm doing here. This is regular double crochet now. The beginning, when I started, it is an increase row. Maybe you were not around when I was explaining that. So this first 2 row, we didn't increase at all. Do you remember? Now this third row we increase. That is, we put 2 stitches in the first stitch. Do you understand? So thereby increasing it. We do the same for the end of the row too. Okay, so that means we have 2 increase already. We had 24 stitches at first. Okay, then we did an increase row, 1 here, 1 here. Okay, and then we had 26. It increased to 26 stitches. It increased to 26 stitches. Now we are doing another row. It's increasing to, if we finish this one and put an increase row again, if we finish here and put an increase row, we'll have 28 for this 4th row. This is the first row, this is the 2nd row, the 3rd row, the 4th row is 28. Let me write it somewhere else. Our first row was a regular row. Okay, so we have 24 stitches here. Row 1, 24 stitches. Okay, now row 2 was also 24 stitches. It was a regular row. It was a regular row. Row 3, we did an increase row. It's an increase row, so thereby we'll increase in the beginning and in the end. So at the end of the day, you have 2 stitches plus, so we have 26 stitches. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Now the 4th row, we did another increase row. So it's going to make it 28 stitches here. Okay, now we calculated this one, and we calculated our 4 centimeters. Remember, I'm trying to explain again. Remember the difference between our shoulder, the length, the circumference, the breadth. Now in this case, because it's already half, not circumference again, is the breadth of our upper chest is 18 centimeter, and our shoulder to shoulder measurement is 14 centimeter. So 24 stitches gave us 14 centimeter. All right, now so we calculated. So now the difference between this one and this one is how many centimeters? 4 centimeters. Then we calculated, we use our measuring tape to measure how many stitches you are going to have for 4 centimeters, and we discover is 8 stitches that you are going to have. Do you understand? Let me do it again. Place your measuring tape on your this thing, in between it like this, okay, and then you're going to go ahead and count. We need just 4 centimeters. All right, sorry, let me start again. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Did this thing reduce again? Let me check again, so we are sure this place are already increased. So I'm going back to my second row, my first row, to do it. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Can you see? 8 stitches. So 8 stitches will give us that increment. Now we cannot just go to one row and just add 8 stitches in it. It will look somehow. You understand? So it has to be a gradual process. Even when they are cutting dress, you see that it goes gradually. It will not just come from here. From here will not just be straight, and at the end of the day it will just look like this. No. Do you understand? So you have to keep increasing it gradually. So to increase it gradually, for your own, this one that we are making is because the length is not much, because it's in centimeters. But if you're doing it in inches, the number of rows will increase. Do you understand? So now you just have to calculate how many rows will make up 8 centimeters. We already calculated for this one, and we already see that maybe like 5 to 6 rows will make up 8 centimeters. So you have to calculate for your own too. If it is 8 inches, you see how many rows will make up 8 inches. Then it will not be 5 again. Let's do that together. So first I want to measure how many stitches can you see? So for me to get a 4th row, can you see, it's just 2 inches here. Can you see? It's just 2 inches here. So you can just calculate for 1 inch. If 1 inch now falls in between, if 1 inch falls in between of your double crochet stitch, do you understand? Then you go ahead and calculate 2 inch, because if this thing is not divisible by 1, it has to be divisible by 2. Do you understand? If your measurement is not divisible by 1, it has to be divisible by 2. So now for my 1 inch, we can discover that it is 2 rows that will make. Okay, so now the number of rows, if I'm making this to be in inches, if I'm making 8 inches now, so the number of rows I'm going to have will be 2 times 8, because 1 inch will contain 2 rows. So 2 rows times 8. Do you understand now? So that will give me how many rows? 16 rows. So now, and you in 16 rows, your 4 inches, let's say how many stitches will make up 4 inches? I'm trying to explain in relation to body measurements now. Will make up 4 inches. So I'm going to count this. All right, so we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20. You have 20 stitches. All right, so you know that 10 rows out of these 16, we have 20 stitches. You know that 10 rows out of these 16 will take an increased row. If you understand what I mean now. You know that 10 rows out of these 16 rows that you have here will take an increased row. Please, I want to know if you understand what I'm explaining, please, so that I don't keep going back and going back, so we can move forward. You know that 10 rows out of these 16 inches will take an increase row, so that is leaving 6 rows free. So 6 rows will be regular rows, 6 rows will be regular rows, 10 rows will be an increase row. So it's now depending on you how you want to do it. You can decide that you want to, out of that 10 rows that will take an increase row, do you understand? You can decide that, okay, oh, the first row will be a regular row. Do you understand? That means you have 5 rows that are 16. So out of this 16, you have 10 rows to be increase row. Abi, you have 6 rows to be regular rows. So for your first one, it has to be a regular. So this is -1 already. You -1 here already. Okay, so you have 5 regular stitch left. Then you can now, on the second row, you can decide to do an increase row. Okay, another increase row for the third row. Insert another regular row, do another increase row, insert another regular row. Do you understand? Another increase row, let's just do it together like this. You have 1 regular row, okay, then another increase row, 2 increase row, okay, 1 regular row, 2 increase row, 1 regular row, sorry, 2 increase, 1 regular row, 2 increase row. So let's calculate now. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So it's not up to 16 yet. You go on. 1 regular row. Do you understand? 2 increase row, 1 regular row, 2 increase row. Let's check now. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 is not up to it again. Then we'll do 2 increase row again. Okay, 15 16 13 14 15. Then 1 regular row. That's 16 inches. Do you understand now? So now it's not left for you to now say, you can decide if yours can be totally different. You can say you want to do it anyhow. Do you understand? So depending on the number of rows, it's just for you to be creative and see how you can increase on that side, to just make sure that when you're on this 16th row, you already have 10 increase already. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? You can, in fact, for your own self, you can say, okay, I want to do the first row as regular, then the next 10 rows will be increase row, then the remaining 5 rows will not be regular rows. You can do it like that, but the shape will be too, it will look somehow. Do you understand? So there is need for you to balance between the number of regular rows and the increase row that you have. So I hope you understand now. I want to believe that you understand now. If you don't, please ask again. Where exactly don't you get, so I can go back and explain. Okay, so for our first row now, remember, it's still an increase row. We are still doing an increase row. All right, so I have 2 stitches left. I'll do this one. The last stitch, I'm going to pick it. So this is the first one I'm doing there, and I'm going to put another one there to make up to finish my increase row. Okay, so you have this, you're going to have something like this. Can you see that it is increasing gradually? Can you see that it is increasing? So we already have 2 numbers of increases here. So our first row is 24 stitches. Our second row is 24 stitches. Row 3 26, row 4 28 stitches. All right, and we need how many? Remember, is 8 stitches we just need. So 24 plus 8, the number of stitches that we need actually will now be 32. So we have not gotten to 32 yet. Okay, and we have to make sure this is 8. So now we want to do another row increase. Row 5 will be another increase row. So, and if we finish increasing this one now, this row 5, it will give us how many? It will give us 30 stitches. So we still have like one more row to increase. Do you understand now? For this particular one in centimeters, for this particular measurement, okay? So 1, 2, 3, you're turning chain. Then in the first stitch you do another one again instead of skipping it, okay? You do another one, that's your increase row again. So I want to go on and finish. You understand, this one I'm doing is just regular. After your increase row that you've done, just go on and do this one as your regular this thing until you get to the edge again where you need to increase. That's why I'm trying to be fast with this. It's not as if I'm trying to be fast with the explanation. Do you understand? Because you don't need the explanation of this one. This one is just regular double crochet. Do you understand now? That's why I'm trying to be fast with it. Okay, so that I'll be able to explain the other ones to us, how you decrease, how you increase. Then if you're able to do another panel, we'll do it. If you're not able to do it today, we'll complete it maybe overnight, and then tomorrow we'll join it, and I'll tell you how to achieve some styles with it. Okay, Eva, please, I want to know if you understand now. Please, I want to know if you understand. And for the rest too, please, I want to know if there's anything you need explanation on. Please, you can go on to like this video. Please, I need you to like it. Okay, so we're almost at the end. Okay, the last one, I'm going to pick it, do a double crochet in it, and I'm going to go ahead and insert it again for increase and put 2 at that last end. Can you see? You can see that it's forming like V. See, since it's from the shoulder, can you see now? So it's going to be giving you something like this. All right. Okay, so now we already have 3 rows of increase. For our row 6 now, if you check this one, let's check how many we have. Is it up to 8 centimeters yet? Can you see? We have 6 centimeters already here. So let's make one more row of increase. So we're going to add one more row. So this is row 6. You write it so that you don't forget. The second panel will now just be easy because we already have written our pattern. We already have our written pattern. So the second panel will be easy. So as you are doing it, you write. As you are doing it, you write, because it's going to be the same thing for the front and back panel. Okay. So now if we increase this one now, we'll have 32 stitches. That 32 stitches that we need, this is where we'll get it. Okay. But it's not as if we just got to row 6 and we just added that 32 stitches. No, we just added some stitches to make it 32. No. Okay, we did it gradually. So it's an increase row. After your turning chain, your first stitch, you put another one inside. Okay, then you go ahead and just do the rest regular until you get to the last stitch again. Do you understand? Okay, so sorry. Okay, so we are almost at the end of this row, so we can add our increase row again. I'll put you in front. Second to the last. Then the last one, you do your double crochet in, then you do another one, okay, to increase. Then we have 32 stitches here now. So I want to let's try and just measure this one and see if we already have our 18 centimeter. Okay, good. Can you see? Let me bring it up so you can see that with the measurement that we did now. Can you see that we have, it's because I'm not placing it on something, so that's why you cannot see. I don't know if you could. Can you see now? We have 18 stitches. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see? So without much calculation, without trying to, since you already know the number of stitches you had, once you already know the difference between where you are coming from and where you are going to, you will know. Then you calculate, just use your first or second row to measure and see how many rows, how many stitches, how many centimeters is between. Then you use that one, that centimeter, you convert it to stitches. Then from that stitches, you count how many rows, know how many rows that is between, the difference between your point A to point B. Do you understand? Then you divide that row now. Then you just be adding, once you know the number of rows, just add 2 to it. The remaining rows that you have that does not have increase row, do you understand? You just start placing it in between the creases. Do you understand? It doesn't have to be 2 increase or 1. It doesn't have to be like that, but just to make sure that the total number of increases that you have tallies with whatever you've gotten. Do you understand? As your calculation. So this thing has to do with calculation too, a lot of calculation. So it's not just, unless you want to be a crocheter that will just go to YouTube and see people's work and do according to what they've done. And that's why at the end of the day, once you now send your project to your customer, they will say, oh, it's not fitting. Why? Because you didn't calculate it. You just made use of other people's tutorial to do it. Your customer might tell you that, okay, I need something like a bag that needs that can take like a mini laptop, and then you just go ahead, because the person sent you a picture of what they want, then you just go ahead to a YouTube video and you just see one YouTube video and that has this same bag that you want to make, and you just go ahead and replicate it. At the end of the day, it might be a small bag, as an example, that the YouTuber made to just show you. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. Do you understand? So now this whole thing is all about calculation. Can you see now? From here now, can you see we've been able to get this? So let's see now, what's the length of this one? Okay, so we need one more row to make it 8 stitches. I'm sure once we make that one more row, say it might be a little bit more than 8 centimeters, but at least we've gotten what we wanted. Do you understand? So the next one, we can just do a regular this thing. If you get what I'm trying to say, it's as simple as that. 1 2 3. Okay, so we are skipping this first one because this is a regular row. Remember to write it. Your row 7 will still remain 32 stitches. Is regular. Okay, so now once you've done your turning chain, skip this one, okay, and go into the next one because it's regular, and your turning chain serves as one double crochet. Okay, and just do this one is just regular a row, no increases at all, Please, I want to know if you understand. I didn't get the feedback the other time I asked if you understand. Please, I want to know that I'm not just doing this to come and get, I don't understand at the end of the day. If there's any process I've done and you don't understand, please call me back now and let me explain to you. All right, thank God. Okay, so I hope the others understand too. Okay. So I'm almost at the end of this regular row too. This is just regular, so no need for any increase at all. Just pick one stitch for each. Just put one DC in each stitch that you find beneath. Okay, and the last one, many people tend to leave this thing, this one, your chain, remember it's part of your stitch, so don't miss it out. Just do this and then you have something like this. Okay, you have something like this. Now this is our armhole. We've gotten to the upper chest area. Sorry, I'm trying to place this thing very well. Okay, so this is our armhole. If you want, you can go ahead and use a stitch marker to hold your armhole in place. Just use it so that you can know that, okay, oh, this is where I'm going to be joining my dress to. Do you understand? But basically we don't need it because you always see, but you can just put it in case. You already know once it's on this side, you can use this side to trace to the other side and know where to stop at the other side too, if you understand what I mean. Okay, so now we are going from our upper chest area. We are going from our upper chest area to our bust area now. Okay, you will see that this place is also an increased row. All right, because even from our measurement that we have our upper chest is 18 centimeter, right? So and our bust is 40 centimeter. Can you see? So our bust is 40 centimeter, and the difference between this one now 18 centimeter. So we'll divide this one 2 by 2. First you minus 2. Remember we are minusing 2 because it's a crochet wear and we need it to fit perfectly well. So if you say we should make it exactly 40 centimeter, it will not be fitting on that person because it is elastic. That is why you find out that most clothes that we buy that are elastic, they are not usually, once you see them, you will see that obviously this one cannot enter you. But because they are stretchy fabric, do you understand? Once you are entering, it will enter and fit perfectly. It will sit on your body very well. But if they make that stretchy material to be exactly your size, trust me, that thing will not bodycon on you. That gown will not be like a bodycon on you. But because they've reduced it, do you understand? This one might not have much elasticity, but there is a need for reduction because it expands. Do you understand? Okay, so me mostly I just minus 2 inches. Yours might be 1.5 depending on how fitting you want that cloth to be. Do you understand? Sometimes I have had a customer I had to like reduce up to 4 inches from the circumference form. Why? Because she wants it to be snatchy and everything. Do you understand? So it depends on what you are trying to make. Now for the circumference we already moved to Abby, so we're going to have 38. So if you minus 38, and if you divide 38 by 2, because it's half pan, you know this one is circumference, so we are working with the half panel. You are going to have how many? Hey Jesus, my head. Oh, how many are we going to have? Holy Spirit. 19 centimeters, sorry. So we are going to have 19 centimeters. Okay, now you can see that the difference between this one and this one is not really much. Okay, now for 1 centimeter, how many stitches do you think we should? For 4, since we already have for 4 centimeters, the difference that we got here, okay, was 4. So, and we, for our 4, we had 8 stitches. So for 1, how many do you think we are going to have? If you think you cannot do that calculation, just go ahead, take your measuring tape and measure how many stitches. You will discover that it's going to be 2 stitches. Can you see? Can you see? Just 2 stitches that we need to increase between our upper chest and our bust. Okay, now what we are going to do now is we only need 2 stitches. I'll be 1 centimeter. It's just 1 centimeter difference, but so we only need 2 stitches. Now from 8 to 12, from 8 centimeter to 12, that's 4 centimeter bar. So how many rows are we going to expect? We should expect about 4 rows, 3 to 4 rows, between 3 to 4 rows. So let's just go about and measure it. So the difference between this one is 4 centimeters. So let's measure how many rows is going to give us 4 centimeters. Okay, can you see? So it's just a little bit more than 3. So we'll stop at 3. Okay, still on the 3 itself. So we'll stop at 3. So between these 3 now, we need an increased row. Do you understand now? Between, we are supposed to do 3 inches to get to our bust line now, to get our 19 centimeter. So we only need 1 row of increase because it's just 2 stitches that we're going to be adding to it. So it's just 1 row of increase. Okay, so sorry, we only need 1 row of increase. We only need 1 row of increase. Let me get another paper because this one is, and we need 3 rows, right, to get to that stage. So 1 1 1. You can decide to make this one regular, increase, regular. You can decide to make it regular, regular, increase. You can decide to make it increase, regular, regular, depending on you. Just make sure that 1 increase row is there, because that 1 increase row will give us the 2 in stitch, the 2 stitches that is the addition that we need. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? I hope you understand what I'm trying to say now. Okay, so now for how do we do it? Which one should we do? Should we use format 1 or format 2? Let's just use format 1. 1 regular stitch. So we'll do 1 more regular stitch. Okay, so we want to go back to our notes and write it. Row 8. Okay, regular stitch. So you still have 32 stitches there. Okay, regular. All right, so just go with this one and just do a regular stitch. I hope you understand. I hope you understand up to this point. All right. So sorry. Okay, so we have 2 stitches left. Regular, remember, so no increases. So I just want to insert this in the last one, and then we'll move on from this row. Sorry. Okay, so we are done with row 8 now. So for our row 9, our turning chain, our row 9, I want it to be an increase since we are working with this first format, right? So our row 9 will equal 34 stitches, okay, which is an increased row. Okay, so the first place we are going to add one more. All right, then we'll keep going till the end of the row, then we'll add another one at the edge of that row to make it an increased row. You understand what I'm trying to say now? So then we are going to have just one more row to get to our 12 centimeter. That is the length of our bust. Okay, and we would have achieved the breadth that we need there too. Okay, okay, so remember this is an increase row. So on the last stitch we'll do one first, then put another one. Okay, so we are done with our row 9. Okay, so we have one more row to go, row 9. So row 10 will be a regular row, so we still have 34 stitches there, so it's a regular row. You can just make use of a jotter for your own. So a regular row, then we just go 1 2 3. So we are skipping the first one since it's serving as the first one. Go ahead to the next one and start working your double crochet in it. All right, okay, so the next one we are going to do is we are going to check, the half length is the next one, so we are going to check the difference between them two, calculate how many stitches, and see how we are going to put it. Okay, please, I hope you understand thus far. Please, if you do, please let me know. If you don't, please let me know as well. Please, I need a feedback from us. I need a feedback. I need to know that I'm not just teaching, that you guys understand what I'm teaching. And if you don't, please let me know as well. Please, I need a feedback from you. Okay, so want to finish this regular row, then we'll go ahead to complete. We'll check from. Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me know that you understand. I appreciate it a lot. Okay, so we are almost at the end of our regular row. Then we'll check the measurement and see if it tallies with what we are doing. Yes, I write patterns. Actually, I write patterns. So for me to be able to even teach you how to write pattern, of course, why not? I write pattern, but you are going to pay for it. It's not a free thing. If you send me a design, why not? I'll write the pattern for you. Why not? I write pattern. So for me to be able to teach you how to write patterns, definitely you should know that. Okay, except the person was not here, Sha, in our last class. Okay, so it's a regular row. We are done with this one. All right, so now we are going to, all right, I think my email is on my YouTube, so I think you can reach me from there. And if not, you can go to Instagram at Calibre Bella 185. Yeah, the exact name on my YouTube, so you can reach me out there too. So I'll be able to do that for you. All right, so the next one we are going to do is, we are done with our row 16, right? So all right, no problem, I'll be expecting you. All right, so we are done with our row 16. So between, we are going now between our bust and half length, right? So let me remind you what our bust and half length is. So this is our bust area and this is our half length area. Can you see? Can you see? Now they even, remember I told you the other time that it's usually 2 inches above our belly button. Can you see? I didn't even read this. Above belly button and below rib cage. Can you see? So is that exactly at our rib cage safe? Can you see? So now we are done with, we are at this area now. So now, as you can see, there is a decline in the shape from this bust area up to this point. There is a decline. Can you see? So what do you think is going to happen there? A decrease, of course. A decrease is going to happen here. So it's not increase like we are doing. All right, so now we want to see, how do we decrease? We already know how to decrease, right? But now, how do we go about imputing it? The same way we've been calculating for the increase row, that's the same way we are going to calculate for this decrease row. All right, so now let's check the difference between the measurements that we have. Now the difference between our bust and our half length, the length, remember, for this one is 12, so we are already at 12 centimeter. All right, so the half length is going to measure up to 15 centimeter. All right, so now the difference between this is just 3 centimeters. Okay, so we need just 3 centimeters, okay, for the length. Now for the breadth, so remember this is circumference. Okay, now we want to minus 2 for our body con. Remember, minus 2, so that we can achieve a body con dress. All right, so now we have 30, so then 30 divided by 2, that will give you the number of centimeters you have to do for your front panel. So the remaining 15 centimeter will be for your back panel, remember. Okay, so now the difference between this is 19 and 15. So what's the difference? It's just 4 centimeter. Can you see? The same thing we have here. If you remember what we had here too, can you see? 4 centimeters, and 4 centimeters will give you how many stitch? Remember, we wrote it here. Your 4 centimeter will give you 8 stitches, the same way we measured from our project. Do you understand? So it's going to give you 8 stitches. Now we are going to look at the rows. Now that's what we are going to be concerned about. We already know the difference. We already know how many stitches to add to give us, you know, our desired stitches that we need. Okay, so now what we need to concern ourselves with is the difference. Now the difference between the lengths. Okay, so we have 3 centimeters. Now you want to take your measuring tape again and using the centimeter side, you want to take your measuring tape and calculate how many rows will give you 3 centimeters. Now as we can see, this is how many rows? This is 1. Now this is this is a very, very interesting part. So we only just have 2 rows between this now. Okay, so now what do we do? Remember, this one we had more than the required rows to increase here, so there was enough place for us to, do you understand? So now you're going to see what we are going to do now. This is an interesting part, and I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay complete attention here. Okay, so our 4 centimeter will give us 8 stitches, so we need to insert 8 stitches between 3 rows. So how do we do this? If we say we want to add, okay, increase row, increase row, increase row in the 3 rows, it's still going to give us 6 stitches and not 8. So what do we do? Do you understand? So in this case, you can see what we are going to do. So now we are going to be adding one more increase. So it is obvious that we'll just put in the 3 rows, oh, it's going to be 3 increase row, no regular row in between. Now we have one more increase to put. What do we do? How do we do? Sorry, this is decrease. I forgot it. But it's the same thing. Let me just explain with increase. All right. Remember, it's decrease. But let me just explain with decrease, then we'll change it. All right. So now we need to add one more increase row. So I want us to put it in the middle row. So, and remember, this is a decrease row because we are coming down the slope from your bust area up to this point. It's a decrease row. Do you understand? What you need is a decrease. Can you see? From 19 centimeter to 15 centimeter. So it's a decrease. It's a decline. Do you understand? So I want us to put that decrease row, the other one, here. So you see what we'll do. Okay, so I'm changing this increase that I wrote now to decrease with D. Okay, has a difference. So our next 3 rows will be decrease rows. Do you understand now? Now, let's go to our pattern that we were writing for the second panel so that we don't forget what we are doing. So we have row, sorry, let me move it up a little bit. Okay. Okay, so we have row, the next 3 rows now be row 11, row 12, and row 13, right? So what we want to do now, and this is what we want to do. So the first one we want to do a decrease row, just one decrease. Okay, a decrease row. So if you have a decrease row, you are going to have how many stitches? 32 stitches minus 2. Okay, 32 stitches, and it's going to be a decrease row. You write it there so that you don't forget when you're working on your second panel. All right, so this is what you're going to have. Go ahead and do your turning chain. 1, 2, 3. Remember, for our increase row, we should do it in the first stitch, but our decrease, we don't do it. Remember when I taught you how to decrease, when we're making this bag, the bag that we made, all right, last week. So now, because it's a decrease row, this is what we are going to do. So we are going to be dealing with this second and third stitch, all right, not the outside stitch, please. All right, so that this one will give us a straight effect. This first one will be able to give us a straight edge effect. So because if we decrease at that point, it will look somehow, but you still see it won't look straight anyways, but at least, how will I say it, this one, can you see, is still aligning with this one, so there won't be need for, it won't look somehow. So now let's decrease. What we want to do for decrease, for, remember the decrease I taught us was for single crochet for that bag. Now we are doing for double crochet. We are done with our first stitch here, right? So now for decrease, yarn over, insert, just like you want to do your double crochet. I'm going to be teaching you 2 methods, okay? So just calm down and look at it. Just like you want to do your double crochet, yarn over, pull through. You have 3 loops, okay? Yarn over, pull through 2. You know we're supposed to yarn over and pull through 2 again to complete our double crochet, but no, we are not going to do that. Just leave these 2 here, okay? So yarn over again, just as you would do for another double crochet. Insert into the next stitch, that's the third stitch, yarn over, pull through. Okay, yarn over, pull through 2. Then you have 3 stitches here. Then you just do yarn over and pull through the 3 all together. Can you see? If you don't understand, please let me know. Then you just do it all together and you're going to get something like this. Now if you check the up here, you will notice that you only have this first stitch that is here, which the loop will not show. Okay, this is it. And this one, and we've done 3 stitches. We only have two stitch up here. So that is exactly what we are looking to achieve, to decrease this one. Do you understand now? So now this is what we'll have for our decrease row. Now another way you can decrease is after doing your first stitch, all right, which is our turning chain, serving as our first stitch. After doing your first stitch, skip this second one, go into the third one and just do a double crochet. But like I told you the last time, is not good. This one is actually not good for your, it's not good for your double crochet. Why? Because of space. Can you see the space? It will just give you a lot more space. Can you see? Even the space that were here, can you see? This one will now be bigger than this. Can you see the space? So that is why we don't use this type of increase. You can use it for single crochet, yes. You can use it for half double crochet, yes, it will work. But for double crochet, it will not work. So this is how you just yarn over, pull through. Instead of yarn over, pulling through the 2, leave it, yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Can you see? So the remaining 3, just yarn over and pull through the 3. Then it will turn that 2 into 1 stitch up. This is where you have business with. Then you go on. So we've done our decrease row now. So until the end, before we do another decrease row, that's what I'm trying to, hasten up. Now at the end, before you finish, when we are increasing, we have to deal with the last and the first stitch. So now when the same thing we did here, we dealt with for our increase row, we dealt with the first 3. 1, 2, 3. The first one we just did normal thing there. Then the next 2 was what we decreased. Okay, so that's what we are going to be doing. So once you have like 3 stitches left, then we'll pause. So I want to do this until I have like 3 stitches left, so I'll be able to understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let me just hasten up with this, and once we have 3 stitches left, you'll be able to understand how to finish your decrease row. So now we already have 1 stitch eliminated from here, so we need another stitch. Okay, all right, so we still have like 3 to do. Okay, so we have 3 stitches left. We are going to do a decrease again. How? Yarn over, insert it into this next one, yarn over, can you see, pull through, you have 3. Just like you do your double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2. The same thing we just did here. Okay, we are just repeating it here. So instead of yarning over and pulling through the 2 again to complete our double crochet, we won't do that. Just yarn over, insert into this one, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. We are supposed to yarn over and pull through these 2. No, we won't do that. Just yarn over and pull through the 3. Can you see? So instead of 2, you have 1. You have 1 stitch here. Okay, so now in the last stitch, you just do a DC on it, just the normal one. Okay, so you have something like this. So assuming we started the decrease row from the first one and the second one, what you're not going to be having something like this that looks like straight, something like you can draw on. Do you understand? It's going to look, how will I say it? It's going to look very awkward, inward somewhat. It's not bad really, but because you want a neat work, all right. So that is why, and for it to be easy for you when you are trying to sew. When you are trying to sew, you just need, you know that you just need to pick the edges. All right. Do you understand? So it will be easy for you to just place the two together and see, you know, the two. Let me show you what I'm trying to say. It will be easy for you to just pick these two together and continue like this. It will align that way. But if you have decrease anyhow, it will not work. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Okay, so let's go on to our row 12. So row 12 will be a double decrease row. Double decrease row. Okay, and why we have a double decrease is, you know, remember we need 8. Okay, so we needed to just put it somewhere. So now if you, so since it's a double decrease, it's going to be 2 2, so 4. You're going to be eliminating 4 stitches from here, from this row. So 4 minus 32, you're going to have what? 28 stitches. Now see, okay, we are going to have 28 stitches. So how are we going to do this one? Okay, so just do your turning chain. Now remember, as this thing, now you will see there's one thing I want you to know. All right, this row, you're not going to be focusing on these ones, this stitch again. What is your stitch is what is here, the loops that I taught you about, these ones that are up here. Can you see? Now this one is part of the turning chains, so this is our first stitch here. You can see. Okay, you can put a stitch marker if you know you will not understand, if you know you will get confused. Just make sure you put a stitch marker before you do your turning chain at all. So this is our first stitch here. So the second stitch is this one, and if you notice, the second stitch is this two. It's taking these 2 stitches. So if you're following these 2 stitches, you end up increasing again without knowing. Do you understand? So this one is what we want to follow. So we are dealing with this one, the second one, and then the next one, that is the third one, which will, if you are looking at it from here, is the fourth one. But if you are looking at it from up here, it is the third one. Do you understand now? So now what you want to do, want to decrease now. So you go ahead and decrease. Watch again as I will decrease. Go into that one, then yarn over, pull through 2. Can you see? Yarn over again, go into the next one, yarn over, put through 2, then yarn over and put through all. Can you see? So that 2 has turned to 1 again. That 2 that we just did has turned to 1. Now to add another decrease. Okay, now we are going to be dealing with the 4th and the 5th stitch. Okay, so what you want to do is yarn over, insert it like you want to do. Can you see? Don't finish it. Yarn over again, insert it, yarn over, put through 2. Then the same thing you did at that side to decrease, yarn over, put through. Can you see? Now you have, can you see that these 5 stitches that you have here, 1 2 3 4 5, has turned to how many? 3. Can you see? 1 2 3. This is remaining 2 of our turning stitch, which is our first chain. Do you understand now, which is our first stitch? Do you understand? Please, I want to know if you understand this double decrease or the decrease row. Please chat, let me know. Then just go on and continue your regular thing until you get to 5 stitches. Remember, your 5 stitches is not what you're not going to be counting this as your 5 stitches. Once you see that the remaining one up here is 5, that's when you're going to stop. Now let's continue this regular. Oh, okay, thank you so much, Eva. Thank you for making me know that you understand. All right, so let's just go ahead and continue with the regular this thing until we get to like 5 stitches we want to complete our decrease row. Then you start seeing the shape that will have. Okay, you might think, oh, the calculations are too much, they are somehow, they are complicated. My dear, that is how you become a professional. Nothing good is just achieved by looking at YouTube and checking other people's video. That's the truth. As much as, if you don't know, they are using that one to make their own money, which is part of the monetization skills I'm going to be teaching you too. Okay, you cannot expect me, if not because this is like a tutorial for you guys, you cannot just expect me to just come here and just be divulging every information for you guys. Some might know, some might not. In fact, most does not know. The real crochet artist that I know, oh sorry, I'm Mutifi Ejo, talk don't carry me go. Okay, so the remaining 5 stitches is 1 and 2 3 4 5. So we have 5 remaining, but if you are looking at it from this side it will be 6. So remember, it was a decrease here, so it's up you'll be looking at. Okay, so now what we are going to do is the first decrease, yarn over, insert it, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, insert into the next one, yarn pull through, then yarn over, pull through 2, then you do this one together, it will give you 1 stitch. Okay, then want to repeat that same thing again. Can you see? Yarn over again, it's into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2. Can you see? Then it has turned to 1 stitch again. Then the last one, which is your turning chain of the previous row, just go inside it and do a double crochet stitch, okay, to balance it. And this is what you're going to be having. So this is like your shoulder, can you see, to your bust area. This is our bust area, this is your armhole. Can you see? Once you pick this one, once we join the 2 panels together, this one is where you're going to be stopping. So can you see, this is your armhole and this is your bust area. Can you see? Up to your under bust, then down to your waist. So we only have 1 more stitch to get to our waist, which is another decrease row. Do you understand now? Because we are following this pattern bar. If your own was DD, then DD, then that means you know that you are doing 1 decrease row, 1 decrease row, then 2 on the next row. Do you understand now? Okay, so to do the next row, which is our 13th row, is another decrease row. So thereby you have how many stitches? 26 stitches. You have 26 stitches. Okay, so now remember, we've not been confirming these stitches since we started. I think we stopped at row 5. So after this decrease row, we'll try and confirm if this is the 26 stitch that we have. If it is the 26 stitch, that means we are on the right path, we are doing the right thing. Okay, so you do your turning chain, which serve as your first double crochet, right? Then go into the next stitch, this one. Check from up, please. You will always see it here. Check from up. So this one, yarn over like you want to do your double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2, go into the next one, yarn over, pull through 2, then yarn over and pull through the 3 loops that you have. Okay, we've done our decrease. Then we want to go ahead and continue till we get to the last 3. Sorry, then you continue till you get to the last 3. Just see. Right, so if you're not able to finish this panel today, just go ahead. Once you stop at where we want to stop, once you want, but I want to try and make sure we finish it. But if we don't, wherever we stop, just go ahead and do another panel, and stop wherever we stopped, so that tomorrow when we are going to finish it, sorry, tomorrow is Wednesday, on Thursday when we are going to finish up with it, then you'll be able to have the 2 panels ready. Do you understand? So even if the second one is not going to be ready, at least you know that you complete the first one, then the second one, maybe after the class, you'll be able to complete it. You won't have too much work on your neck. Okay, so sorry, I've done this one. So when you check, you should have 3 stitches left. 1, 2, then this one on the first, this one is going to be very small, so it might not be really visible, but it's the last one here at your turning chain. Okay, so now what we want to do is yarn over, go into it, then decrease, go into the next one to complete our decrease. Can you see? Then decrease, then on the last one just do a regular double crochet. Okay, now let's see. This is what we have so far. Can you see? This is what we have so far. So this is your bust area up to your waist measurement. Okay, so now let's go back to our calculation. So now we are moving from our half length to our waist, which is our high hip, right? If you started with us, you know what that means. Okay, so let me just show you. So we are moving from our waist measurement to our high hip, which is our waist measurement in this case. This one is our half length measurement to our waist measurement. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you can go back to this video at the end of the class, then go back, you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, now you see from this place up to this place, please, I want someone to tell me, is this a decrease or increase? Is it a decrease a decrease slope or increase slope? Please, can someone tell me? Are we going to increase here to achieve our high hip, or we are going to be decreasing? Please, I need an answer. I need an answer, please. I need an answer. I'm waiting. Oh, okay, let's just continue. Maybe it's network, but this is going to be an increase slope. Can you see? Because it's not coming down, it's going out, it's extending. Okay, so now we are going to do our increase slope. Now to do it, let's go back to our measurements. Okay, so let's just go back to, okay, good, thank you Ayomide, to our measurements. So we have our waist, which is what we are dealing with now. Now see the difference between our half length and our waist. The measurement is 4 centimeters, right? For the rows, remember this one has to do with rows. Now this one is still the same thing, so -2 is still 15 centimeters. Can you see? It's still 15 centimeters. So basically there won't be too much, because mostly between your half length and your waist is usually the same measurement, or maybe your waist is tinier than, like maybe a bit tinier than your waist, your high hip. Yeah, but basically it's almost the same measurement. It's almost the same measurement. So if you use the same measurement for it, it will work. Do you understand? Even if there's 1 inch difference, it will still work. That place will just look more snatched, safe. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That hips area will even look more snatched. So for this one, for this part, we are not going to be needing, for this part we are not going to be increasing nor decreasing. Do you understand? Depending on the bodies, if you have someone that has like a very big hips, obviously this space will, how will I say it, not very very, I have a very big hip because this is my measurement. I'm using 44 inches, so that's big. But then because my waist measurement is a little bit more, like I don't have like a slim waist. Do you understand? So that's why you don't have like an increase this thing. Yeah, me, I don't have a slim waist because of hormonal issues, so that one is not this thing. But most women, it comes like this, so you have to increase too. But because we are working on these measurements, imagine someone, in fact there are some people that their waist is even bigger than their hips, and mine is not like that, so thank God. So so this is just going to be the same measurements here. So what we need to just focus on is how many rows are we going to do, like a standard, like the ones that we have here. How many rows are we going to do it? So we have 19, so we have 4 centimeters. Take your measuring tape and place it on what you have here. Okay, so we are going to be measuring how many will make up 4 inches. So you can discover that we have 1 2 3, then more than, it's actually more than 3. Can you see? So but we are going to do 4 rows for this. Is more than 3 rows. 1 2 3. Can you see? So it's halfway in the first row, so we are going to finish it. We're going to complete that fourth row. So we have 4 rows. We are going to work 4 rows of, so our row 14, row 15, row 16, and row 17 will now be what? It will be a regular row, whereby we are going to be just finishing that 26 stitches. So I said we're going to be confirming. So let's confirm first before we now continue doing what we are doing. Okay, so for the stitch, remember, if you come from here, you miss it out. So go ahead and come from the top here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25, then 26, which is here. Can you see? That means we are on the right path. We are doing the right thing. Once you try to confirm, but always try and confirm, at least for now. The chart, yes, please remind me. I'm going to send it to you. I'm definitely going to send it to you. So once you confirm, please just try and confirm like every 2 rows. Once you are confirming and it's the same thing, my dear, forget it. You are doing the right thing. You are doing the right thing. So for our next 4 rows now, we are going to be doing a regular row. So let's just take that time and do something. What can we do? I will use that one to rest my voice, so you can just watch me do it. All right, and I want you to be seeing how fast. I know you guys will say I'm fast. Yes, take it down fast. If I'm not, this is not my speed, say, because I'm on camera, so I'm not sitting down very well. I'm sitting uncomfortably, so I'm not able to move my hand where I want. My arms are not resting. I'm trying to place it in front of the camera so you can see what I'm seeing. So this is not my exact speed, even if you think I'm fast this way. So but at least I want you to boost your morale so that you can know that you yourself, you can be fast this way. And I said I was going to rest my voice, so now I'm giving you another tip. So there's one thing that someone asked me, I think, was it at your midday or Ayomi Posi, because we have like Ayo, we have two Ayomi days, we have two Ayomi Posi for this class. So one of the Ayos Sha asked me that, oh, I'm fast, that how can she be fast too? Then I told her, so what I told her I'm going to be sharing with you guys too. So I told her to just, if she has songs that she play and she has maybe earpiece or something, in fact she does not even need earpiece. If she has a Bluetooth speaker, anyway she can just amplify that music so that she'll be able to listen very well. Now the music is not what we need to be fast anyways, because I'm not listening to music right now. Now it's just to train us. Now you know that music has minutes, like it has minutes where it will play. There are some music that are 5 minutes, some seconds. There are some that are 2 minutes. There are some that are five. So if you have a playlist, and I'm sure that, oh, can you see now? She said, I didn't know she was the one said. Can you see? She said it really helped. So it's depending on what you want to achieve. So, and I know that if you continue at that rate, to be honest, in fact, it's going to really, 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 really help you. It's going to really, really help you. So, sorry. What's this? What's happening? All right. So now, how many rows have I done, Sif? Ew, I forgot to know. Okay, this is the second row. So remaining 2 rows. Okay, so if you want to be fast, once you have your playlist ready, just focus on that song. You already know, because if one song is your playlist, I don't want to believe you don't know the lyrics. So you know when the song is going to stop, you know when it's going to get to the middle. So once you are just doing it, and you just make sure that, okay, if you are working in rows, just calculate, okay, for these 5 minute songs, how many, let me see, how many what's it called, how many rows can I crochet within this 5 minute song? Do you understand? And once you are listening to this song, at the same time you find out that nobody will help you with that one, natural, because you are listening to that music and you are trying to see what you can do. So I don't know, subconsciously you'll be forced to give your effort to that thing without any much help from anybody or from yourself. That's the truth. And then once you see that, okay, so I can finish like 3 rows in 5 minutes, or 2 rows in 5, or 1 row in 5 minutes, just once you are listening to the next music, okay, since I can, and the next music is like 3 minutes instead of 5 minutes this time around, okay, since I can do 3 rows in 5 minutes, then I think I should be able to do 2 for this one. Now you should have reduced it to 1, but because you feel you can do 3 in 5, then you increase it to 2. At first you might not meet up that 2, but once you keep challenging yourself that way, trust me, your speed will increase. It is natural. Your speed will increase. So you can just keep, can you just see, she just gave us a testimony that it really helps. So it shows I'm not lying. So you can go ahead and try it too, because that was how I got to increase my speed. You can as well use a timer, a stopwatch, but that one will make you so conscious of yourself. You won't be enjoying the thing. It will look like a competition. So at that time, you will be very, what let's say, you get exhausted. You get exhausted on time. But if it is music, something, or maybe a movie is not advisable to increase your speed. After you are not done with increasing your speed, then you cannot go ahead and start watching movies and working. No problem about that. But since you are just starting, in fact, it will just make you slow, because movies now, it's visual aid. It's not just listening and doing another thing. So you need to watch, you will be taking some pause that are unnecessary. But if you use music, trust me, to help you. It will help you. So I think this is the first row, right? So let's just finish up with this one, then we'll go to the hips area. All right. Okay, I think that's my battery warning me. Okay, so we have 3 minutes to 2 hours. I think we can take a break and maybe come back by what time? Or should we do the rest tomorrow, because my battery is warning me? So no, tomorrow cannot work. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so I think on that'll be on Thursday. On Thursday. But the thing is, if what will happen is, maybe I'm going to record a video of this part and send it to us, separately, like maybe in my leisure time. Because if I say we should come online maybe at night now, I'm sure most people will not be willing to. Okay, but if night is going to work, then we can fix maybe like 1 hour at night and do whatever we want to do and go to sleep. If that is going to work, please let me know, please. If night is going to work, maybe just 1 hour, so we can just complete whatever it is we are doing. Okay, so we already have this, so we are done with our, can you see that the shape is already coming out? Okay, so now we want to go ahead to our what's it called again, from our waist to our hips. Okay, so let's just do the calculation so that when we come back, so we are done with this. Let me just fill in this. 26 stitches, 26 stitches, 26 stitches. Okay, so from our hips to our waist, can you see? So it's 6 centimeter difference for the length. Okay, now for the breadth, we want to minus 2 here, right? So we have 42. So 42 divided by 2, you're going to have 21. So we are working with 21 centimeters. Now the difference between our waist and this one, like breadth, right, is how many? We have 6 centimeters. Okay, so this is definitely going to be more than our 8 stitches. Okay, so and the difference is how many again? Is also 6 centimeters. All right, good. Okay, so the length and the breadth, the difference is going to be 6 centimeters. So let's check for the breadth first, the difference. So let's check how many stitches will give us 6 centimeter. Let's check. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So at this point you have 11, so you can just eradicate one or add one more, add one stitch, because we need something that is even, remember. Okay, because we have to put it at the beginning, at the end, at the beginning, at the end. Do you understand? So now it's going to be 11. I remember is an increase, it's going to be an increase row, not decrease and not regular. Why? Because the difference is much. Can you see? It's hips area, so it's an increase row. We are going from here to here. All right, so we have 6 centimeter. So I'm going to eradicate one. Okay, so we have, let's say, 10 stitches down, so we need 10 stitches to increase. So we want to check how many rows we are going to be increasing for. Let me get another paper. So in this point we have 10 stitches that we are going to be needing. Okay, so let's check how many rows for 6 centimeters. So for 6 centimeters, just place your, sorry, I'm coming. So just place your measuring tape and measure out how many we have for 6 centimeter. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So exactly 5 rows is what we have to make 6. Can you see? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exactly 5 rows. Okay, so this one will not be too hard like that. So we have 5 rows. We have 10 stitches increase, abi, then in 5 rows. So how do we do it? How do we do it? 10 stitches increase. If you do it in 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you see that is in fact 10 minus 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So, and it's 2 stitches that we need. So 10 divided by 2, sorry, is 5 rows. So we just had increase row, increase row, increase row, increase row, increase row. Can you see? So it's going to be increase row. So once you have plus 2 stitches, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, plus 2, that's your increase row. Your increase is equal to plus 2, plus 2. So that's 10 stitches, because I know someone might want to ask me what's plus 2, plus 2. Your plus 2 is the increase row. Do you understand? So from row 18, row 19, row 20, row 21, and row 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's complete. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then and row 22, they are all going to be increase rows. Increase, 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 then increase. So they are all going to be increase row. Now, so no regular row there at all. Now let's do it together. So I think when we get to the hips area, we can stop and take a pause. Then we'll decide in the WhatsApp group if we are going to do a class tonight. So increase, remember the first stitch, okay? So we are increasing. All right. Okay, then continue and do regular rows. All right. So sorry, it's raining here, Steph. I hope my battery will take me up till that hips point. Okay. All right, so we are almost at the end of this row. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so we are the last stitch now. You want to, which is the turning chain in your previous row, do one there, then do another one to complete your increase row. Then you are going to have 28 stitches. Okay, then so you're going to increase this row 19 too, and then continue to do your regular rows. Okay, this is also an increase row. So sorry. Okay, Okay, then you finish your last one, put another one inside, so complete your increase row, and then you have something like this. This is what we are going to be having. Can you see? So from the bust, this is the bust area. Can you see? It's already increasing, giving us that feminine shape that we want. You understand what I'm trying to say now? So this is, you just keep increasing. This is second row, which we have 30 stitches here now already. So we are going to do another increase row. 1, 2, 3. Okay, turn your work, then increase in the first stitch that you have there. Okay, then go ahead to do regular stitches until you get to the last stitch there. Okay, this is the third one, right? So let's just do the last two once we get to the hips area, so we can just finish the rest at night. Maybe between if we are not going to be available, I think we can just come back and watch it. Okay, either I see someone or I don't see anyone, but it will be better for you to be there if you are chanced. So I know that people should be done with their kitchen duties around 8, 9. What I mean by kitchen, you know what I mean by kitchen duties now. Like maybe you want to cook, you want to wash plates, you want to do everything. I think we should be done around 8 to 9 p.m. now. So basically by 9 p.m. yes, I'll be here again. Or let's say at most by 9:15. At most by 9:15. Then we should be able to do the rest under 45 minutes. We don't even need that one ourselves. So by 10 we'll stop, okay, and wait for Thursday class so we can finish up. Okay, so can you see the last one? I'm going to do 2 there. Okay, 1, 2, 3, I turn. Okay, so this is 32 stitch, and you see as I'm finishing it, I'm filling it in so that I don't forget. If not, you have to start counting how many rows have I done before you're able to get what I'm saying, what you are doing. Okay, so once you are done with a row, just make sure that you go back and do the needful, write what you need to write, because that is what is going to help you with your second panel, so you don't have to be calculating, and you see that you spend less time on your second panel self than your first panel, because you just need to read what you need to. You've already tried it and it worked for the first panel, so you've written it down. All you just need to do is just keep checking it and just see the next thing to do. That's all. And that's why pattern writing is very, very important. And if you see work that has pattern, it is usually very, very, very easy. Very, very easy to work with. So okay. So I'm almost done with a third row. Is it our third row safe? I bet our fourth row safe. Forgotten. Our fourth row. So after this one, I think we have one more row to go. Then we share the bliss and meet here by 9:15 again, or 9 to 9:15 sharp. Okay, so another increase row. Don't forget that chain, this one, your turning chain that might be locking around, trying to gum body to another person. Okay, 2, 3. Okay, the last one, another increase row. So this one should have 34 stitches. Then the last one we should have 36. So after we are done, I think we'll try and see if we are correct with that. All right. Sorry. So is there any question anybody wants to ask me before we round this class up, before we meet by 9:15 at night again? Any question? Any song request? Oh god. Okay. Okay, so we're almost done with this one. Sorry. Okay, don't forget your turning chain, which is your last stitch, because that one likes to hide a lot, especially when you are decreasing or increasing. Okay, so we are done with this increase row. Let's try and confirm if you are right. So you want to confirm and check. Let's add this thing safe. Can't find it again. Okay, let's just use the metal one. Just confirm. So you have this one, which is your turning chain. Can you see? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Can you see? So we are right. So this is the result of what we have here. Can you see? Up to your hips area. And if you check our charts very well, you see it's looking like what we made. Can you see? So that's how to make your design. So I'm sure with this one now, you should be able to calculate for every type of body measurements that you have. Either the person has a bigger bust than the hips, or bigger hips than the bust, or any type of shape, you know, you'll be able to get. So we'll come back tonight by 9:15ish. Then we'll finish up with this one, work on the second panel. I think I should be done with the second panel by then anyways. So but I'm going to leave it up to some point so I can show you something. There is something I need to show you for the back panel, right? But you can finish this panel up to this point and go ahead and finish the second panel up to this point too. Remember, we are doing a knee length, right? Okay, so that will be the end of today's live video. Sorry, now live video. So because we are going to meet at night again. All right, cheers. So I'm hoping you finish it before evening. So have a nice time. I'm going to send the measurement chart to the group. Yeah.